Hello, and welcome to my review of Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm going to start off by saying this review is going to be a pretty positive one with a little bit of negative things that I can think of. It's also going to be really casual, just going to kind of think of things off my top of my head, and I'm going to try to keep it spoiler-free for the most part. Um, so let's see, where to begin? The beginning of the movie sets up a nice structure and brings Spider-Man even more into the Marvel Cinematic Universe than we even initially thought with Civil War. Um, as far as cinematography goes, I think a lot of the shots were really well shot, except for some poor CGI at some points. I'd say we've seen better CGI Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man series. Uh, it's just, something about his new costume seems off to me. I don't really know what it is. I think it's just that, like, his red blends a little too much. Can't really see those strong black lines separating everything. So, yeah, I just believe that, this isn't necessarily the best Spider Man CGI and costume that we've seen to date. Gonna go ahead and say this too. It is definitely the best Spider-Man we've seen to date, though. I feel with Tobey Maguire, he really got down Peter Parker's awkward nerdiness, and I feel like Andrew Garfield really got Spider-Man's witty, cocky, humor. But I feel like neither of them could put the two together in a way that Tom Holland really has captured on screen, which I do really appreciate. Um, but this is not the best Spider-Man movie I think we've ever gotten. I'm probably going to need to see this a time or two again and probably go back and see the original Spider-Man 2 to see if it still holds up because right now that's number one Spider-Man movie in my book. I do think, though, that with Michael Keaton's Vulture, this is the absolute best Marvel Cinematic Universe villain we've gotten to date. I think this is the most justice they've done to a villain, and I think, they actually played it smart this time. And with him being so good, I actually have a little more hope going forward with the future projects. Like, assume they're going to do Thanos some pretty good justice since he's not just, a one off, write off villain. He's been, building up to all this. I'm hoping they can at least do as much justice as they've done with Vulture and this big, final everyone come together, face the ultimate evil film that, it's supposed to be. Uh, so that'll be interesting to see. I also hope that, they can, keep up this momentum, and once Tom Hardy's Venom movie comes out, I hope that we eventually get, something that plays together in that. Fortitude. Other than that, I'd say really good movie. Cinematography, really good. Nice, little bit of action scenes. They didn't, go all out. One thing I can appreciate is the way they're dealing with like the Spidey sense in this movie, and they're kind of pulling back from like the stupid slow motion trope scenes that are in like every movie ever. Like if I saw one more, Spider-Man, let me just slow down and see this punch from like a bully or a villain, I would have probably just walked out. But this movie does it really sparingly. You don't get that, uh, unlike the other films, which I do, I find nice. Some people were complaining about it online, saying that they believe that, he should have a spider sense and it should be playing a little bit of a bigger role into the film. But some of the scenes, it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work as well. Um, Going back to like the way he looks and everything, the suit, I really, it still doesn't sit well with me that Tony is just kind of giving him his suit and it's all upgraded and has all these extra tech abilities that, classic comic Peter Parker wouldn't have since he, built and designed his own suit, web shooters, cartridges, all of it, the formula. I really wish that, he'd step back and maybe give that back and maybe make his own a little bit more up to par. They even say in like the trailer in the film, it has like over 500 different web combinations, and that's just a little ridiculous. I would like it a lot more if he just kind of came up with it, on the fly, get a little bit more experience in, like maybe, what is that, Spider-Man Prom, maybe next what they're going with. Maybe give him a few years to grow since he's going to be in the next Avengers films. I just like to see him like stand a little more on his own, even though he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because that was my biggest problem with like Cap 3. I absolutely love Captain America 2, but Cap 3 became Avengers Friendship Brawl or Iron Man 4 Civil War. They kind of just threw Bucky in as like the thing that started everything, and I never really appreciated that. If it's going to be a standalone, I want like cameos or like team ups, but I don't want it to be an Avengers movie in a Spider-Man or a Captain America Iron Man movie. I will admit that they did use Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, very sparingly. Going into this with the poster and the trailers and everything, I thought he was going to play a much bigger role, but fortunately it's just right. They did get it the perfect amount in the movie, I feel like. Plot wise, I think it was structured well. I don't think it suffered like many films with having a really good first act and then a really bad second or third. I feel like they were all just good, so you didn't have to really walk out like disappointed and everything, and the third act does leave out on a high note. Moral high ground, this is our Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood, as they say in the movie and everything. I do hate that Tony Stark coined that catchphrase for him. Absolutely can't stand it. That's been in the trailers and everything, and like I said, there will be some minor stuff I talk about. If you get pissed off, sorry. But this is my first actual review that I'm even uploading to my channel and even actually attempting to do, so I hope it actually goes pretty well. Trying to keep everything structured pretty nice. They're kind of talked about his suit, a little bit of like the structure of the film, cinematography, how the villain was, how Tom Holland's Spider-Man was in comparison, everything like that. See, this isn't a spoiler review, so I'm not trying to go too much into it. I'm just trying to, let you guys know, like, I appreciate this new Spider-Man, and the film is actually really good. I will say that I definitely think that, everyone should go out and see this and give it its own, shot. Maybe come back, leave some comments, and tell me how you guys think of the movie. If you've seen it, and if you want me to do an actual spoiler review, just let me know. I'll probably try to get around to doing that as well. Overall for me, I'd have to say the movie is a solid 7 out of 10. I definitely recommend that you guys go out and see this film. It is a great entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I hope that like one day Marvel gets all of its characters back, or Fox and Sony can lend their characters like this more often. I think it's really great that we're getting Sony and Marvel working together, and that this movie could even be made and things could tie in. Like, all I've ever wanted is for like a full Avengers team with all the normal people, but with Wolverine, Spider-Man, and just everyone that should be there. I think Avengers Infinity War would be even better if we got the X-Men, everything going in that should be in that movie, everyone pooling together their resources and actually going after Thanos as he wreaks havoc on the universe. But we'll see how it goes. We got Daredevil back, which was a big help, and I think that if Fox sees what Sony's doing with this, making money off of it, being successful off of this, we might eventually get that complete Marvel Cinematic Universe that we all want. But again, final review for the film, 7 out of 10. Couldn't recommend it more. Everyone go out and see this film.